Yo, what's up, guys? It's Ben10clem here, back with the Ben10clem poll, week 3. There's a lot of changes with my poll that I made. Some conflicting that I had, some conflicting changes, etc. Like some teams that there's a team I didn't necessarily want to drop out of the top 25, but I feel like compared to the other teams, like here, it just makes sense to put them a little or just drop them out of it. 'Cause there's a lot of teams that lost and just looked bad, etc. So we're gonna go ahead and start off. Pretty much our top three are the exact same as last time. You have our top three are almost identical as last time. You have Ohio State, Penn State, LSU. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then I moved Oregon up 3 spots to 4 and kept Texas at 5. I just haven't seen enough from Georgia yet to say, like, okay, yeah, they're a number 4 team. They played Austin Perry, only 28-6. I mean, if I was Georgia, I'd be putting up way more points than that personally, but I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what that's going to be for me. And Miami is 6, not moving where they went. I think they had a good win as well, so they're going to stay where they are. And Georgia goes to 7, so they drop 3 spots. Tennessee is at 8. This is still one of the biggest conflicting things with the AP poll. Pretty much is having Tennessee this high up. Tennessee played, if I look real quick, East Tennessee State. They did 72-17. They ended up winning. They move up 1 spot. Moving up another spot is Notre Dame at number 9. I get they really haven't played. And the one playing, they lost to Miami, but I still think they're a really good team. They play next week, so we'll end up seeing how that goes. I dropped South Carolina 2 spots after their pretty poor performance from South Carolina State. I mean, it wasn't necessarily poor, but it wasn't great either. 38-10. This was at South Carolina too, so that's what they dropped 2 spots. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech moves up 3 spots. Georgia Tech, I think, is a team that for some reason is not ranked still, but they should be. They won against Gardner Webb 59-12. They've been looking good for a long time. And I see them probably either winning the ACC or possibly just, I think they'll be in a playoff team. So, yeah. Moving up 4 spots is Illinois. Illinois is very impressive. I thought Duke could pull off the upset. I was pretty high on Duke possibly winning that, but they got blown out 45-19. Illinois is looking like a really, really strong team. So I have them at 12, moving up 4 spots from last week. Number 13, moving up 8 spots. The biggest jump of them all is Oklahoma. I was pretty harsh on Oklahoma to start, but they proved themselves and beat Michigan 24-13. They had a really good game. Their QB, I think, is possibly could. I mean, I'll come out with the Ben10clem Player of the Year award odds probably tomorrow sometime. But I think John Mater, I don't know, or Matter, I don't know how to say his last name exactly, but Matier or something, maybe like that. I think he's could be in the Heisman running, definitely. So, because he was honorable mentions. Moving up 4 spots is Texas A&M. I'm still not super high on Texas A&M, but they end up playing a pretty rough opponent upcoming, I think. So if we look at week 3 here, let's see, Texas A&M. I thought they played. Maybe I was wrong. No, they play Notre Dame at Notre Dame. So Notre Dame's favored 6.5 points, but I think that's going to be a pretty good game. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to go on to the next one. So, at number 15 is Clemson. I dropped them even more. I dropped them 4 spots. They looked horrible against Troy. And Clemson's really going to have to prove themselves. If they really want to stay like as a contender, they're going on the road at Georgia Tech. They're a 3.5 point favorite. I don't know. I could see Georgia Tech winning this one. I'm not super high on Clemson right now, and that's why I keep dropping them. I don't know how they'll end up playing, but we'll see how that goes. But they dropped 4 spots for me after their poor performance against Troy. Moving up 1 spot is Ole Miss. They only moved up because of so many teams dropping. I really would keep Ole Miss where they were, but just because of their poor performance against, or their really close game against Kentucky. But yeah, Alabama destroyed their opponent. They're back up. They move up 3 spots. But that's also because a couple other teams like just dropped. But Michigan dropped 5 spots after their loss to Oklahoma, and I think Oklahoma just looks really, really well. Able to take care of a solid Michigan team. They move up. I was conflicting about moving them down, Louisville moving them down, but I'm just going to keep them where they are for now until they prove maybe that they deserve to be there. But for now, that's where they're going to be. I'm going to keep them there. Number 20, moving up 4 spots, is Utah. Utah's looking really, really good. I think they probably most likely going to win the Big 12. I really think they're probably the best team in the Big 12 at the moment. So, yeah. And now a newly ranked team, South Florida, USF, at the 21 spot. They pretty much beat Florida, and it was a good game. I actually watched the end of that, and I was really impressed with USF, and I was really impressed with them after their win against Boise. Like, their QB just trucked the fuck out of people. It was wild. And they have a really tough game coming up. It's going to be at Miami, so that game's definitely a key watch list. Miami's 16.5 point favorites. I would say they're more of a 8.5 point favorite, but if not a little less, almost just a touchdown favorite, I could very well see that being the case. I think that game is a very slept on game. That's going to be a really good one. Auburn moves up 3 spots. They continue to do really well. I think where they're at is a really good spot. SMU drops the most, dropping 12 spots. SMU, I think, had probably the worst loss around. I don't even think they're ranked anymore. I can't exactly remember, but they ended up losing, I think, to Mississippi State. Or no, they lost to Baylor. My bad. They lost to Baylor in OT, second overtime. It was a good game, but I dropped them pretty far. Because I'm not necessarily really high on them right now. And I haven't seen them do much of anything other than, I mean, Baylor's a good team, don't get me wrong. I have them right outside the top 25. I had them, I think, in the top 25 at the start of the year, if I remember right. Or they were on the fringe of being in the top 25, which they still are, I think, to me. They have a really high chance of being there. Florida dropped 9 spots after their loss to USF. That was a really good game. I thought it was a really good game. It was 18-16, very defensive, but also just USF had more offensive capabilities in that game too, so they ended up just winning. And that was in the swamp, which is crazy. And newly ranked Iowa State after their close win against Iowa. It was 16-13. Iowa State, I think, deserves to be up here. I don't know if they should be any higher, but I dropped BYU out. I just haven't seen enough from them to say I kind of want them in the top 25 right now, which I think the AP poll also agrees with me. They beat Stanford 27-3. I mean, I would beat them by more if they were Stanford, or if you're going against Stanford, you should beat them by more. BYU it's hard to say. I think there's teams better than them right now. Also, a team that dropped out of the top 25 for me is Iowa State. Or no, not Iowa State. Arizona State. Where's Arizona State? Arizona State was way higher rank, I thought. Am I dumb? I might be dumb, chat. Let me double check. Arizona State is in the not Pac-12, Big 12. Wait, am I wrong here? No, I don't. Arizona State lost to Mississippi State. Yeah, that's why. Okay, I was thinking about someone that lost. And AP poll still has them really high, which yeah, after that, I don't have them ranked. I mean, I already had them pretty low. They dropped out of the top 25. They were 22 anyways, and BYU was 23. I just think these teams down here are better than them and would win. There's some teams that I want to give some honorable mentions to, and it's the teams I want to give honorable mentions to are. I do think Baylor is right on the fringe of being there. I also want to say Texas Tech, Indiana, and Florida State and Missouri as well are all on that like fringe of possibly making it to the top 25. Florida State is consistently proving their worth. 77-3. I get it was against an FCS school, so it was a pretty easy game for them, but still, I think Florida State's got a chance here, and I think right now them and Baylor are my two top to put in next, and Indiana. Texas Tech, not super high on still, and Missouri, same with them. But other than that, that's some of the biggest changes we've had so far, and changes. I normally don't just drop teams out of the top 25, but these teams are just better, even though they lost. I think these teams are just better than these two teams. Let me know what y'all disagree with and agree with down below. I will do a comparison with the AP poll as well. Keep a lookout for that, and the Ben10clem Player of the Year award will be coming out as well. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, and sub. Let me know what y'all would change. I appreciate everyone for the views on the most previous AP poll versus Ben10clem poll. That means a lot. I'm glad it's starting to get more traction, and y'all are enjoying it. Anyways, thank you, and next time, I'll see you later. Peace.